Hey Sagittarius, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy day, happy spring if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, happy Aries season, I should say. We just celebrated the spring equinox and have moved into Aries season since, which is definitely welcome. You know, Pisces season was pretty watery. It was triggering a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of dynamics that really put into perspective the need to make choices, and adjustments around who and what we want to invite into our life. It's not been an easy go because some of this stuff, like, it's just annoying, right? Like, we kind of know it's not our vibe, it's not what we want, but we still have to deal with it, contend with it on some level. Or there's more to the story, there's more to uncover, there's more that is unfolding that we need to be patient around. And so trying not to assume too much. Aries season puts us in this energy of self. So take all that energy, you know, that you invest into others and put it into yourself, or put it into yourself first until you are full and you can give to others is a better way to say it. Maybe Sagittarius. I mean, I feel like you're pretty good about like keeping yourself busy and active, and new people, new places. We'll definitely see how this is manifesting for you this week. I'd like to start off the readings with an energy cleanse, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some of the limitation that we might be coming into. You can totally skip ahead if it's not your vibe, or participate if you want. I also, I was going to say, actually, it's a good time to set your own intention too for the reading. If you do want to participate, if you do kind of want to, just give something over to Spirit, Universe, God, however you understand it. Anything that is on your heart, on your mind, on your soul that you would like to receive messages around, definitely give that over. Be open to receive. Great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them if you want me to look at your specific situation. Or if you are looking for just more of a rebalancing of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are operating from that space of alignment, when we can hear and know ourselves and what we want, that is where we find the most happiness, fulfillment, and abundance. So definitely hit me up if you're interested, resonate, vibe with my energy. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Ooh, smoky one. It's actually been kind of like all the cleansings have been this way. And I feel like it is very much in alignment with how the astrology is playing out, because we are cleansing out the old. We're cleansing out things that have just worn out their welcome is what I'm hearing. And I feel like especially as we're moving into Aries season, like you're feeling good. You're like ready, chomping at the bit is almost what I'm seeing, like ready to get up and running, or, this is coming out so weird. I don't know. Okay, but you're feeling like held back in certain ways, right? And I feel like a lot of this is coming from some of those places that we still have past karmic things to play out. They still need to find closure. There's been a lot of resistance to that closure. Like, even if we feel like, oh yeah, I'm good. I don't need to readdress that. I've, made peace with that person's situation. There's a reason that it still keeps coming up, and I feel like some of this is uncovering part of this abundance, part of this like fulfillment that you're really trying to tap into. But it's like, you need to learn how to work with all the elements is what I'm seeing, if that makes sense, right? It's not just one or the other, it's the whole. And I feel like you're kind of in a place where you might be glossing over some of the negative things or not paying attention, or because you are so ready to hit the ground running. That's what I was looking for. Sorry, that was making me fumble over my words. Because you are ready to hit the ground running, Spirit's saying to like proceed with caution, not to scare you, not to be like, oh, you know, second guess yourself on every little nook and cranny. It's not about that at all, right? 100%. It's about really understanding what is worth the time and the investment, right? Like what is actually going to bring long-term fulfillment. And I feel like this is really important right now for some reason. There's a lot of different things in the astrology catering towards this. Pluto just moved into Aquarius. It's starting a 18 to 20 year cycle where, you know, we're setting the stage for these next 20 or so years. And not that we can't get out of things we choose along the way. 20 years is a long time, but it's this value of paying attention to what lessons are coming up and why they're coming up and how they're affecting you, and not just kind of turning a blind eye and being like, oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, everything's gonna be okay. Part of why it comes up is to show us, to give us the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. You've made a decision that I feel like makes you really happy. It's something that you felt good about. It's something that you aligned with. And I think it's almost like, be open, embrace that, but embrace every facet of it, right? Like, don't just turn a blind eye. The negative, perceived negative isn't necessarily always worst case scenario, right? Like, obviously, if it's a red flag, if it is a deal breaker, then pay attention to that. But I don't necessarily see that in your energy or around you. I feel like someone feels the need to self-protect for some reason. Let's look at this. Okay. I'm hearing like you had an interaction with someone or something where there was like either a misunderstanding or misinterpretation. I feel like you were way happier in this dynamic than maybe what you said you were. I feel like this kind of goes back to like pointing out the nitty gritty, you know? Sometimes we can also, what I'm hearing with this, for some of you, this will resonate. Like, we can actually have something that we want, but because it's like we have to deal with the reality of it, it can seem not so, glamorous, right? So sparkly and fanciful and blah, blah, blah. Because real life is real life, right? It's mundane. It can be shitty. People are people and whatever. And that's kind of this value where like maybe you were living in the fantasy bubble a little bit too much and needed to ground yourself into reality. You've had a lot of good things work out for you lately is what I'm hearing. And I think a lot of it is because you did kind of step back, listen to your heart, take care of yourself in a way that felt nurturing and supportive, right? But somewhere along the way, someone didn't feel so as open as you, or something happened, they looked at a situation with you and just kind of took the diplomatic approach. Like, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I really don't feel very comfortable about this. Maybe they were even hesitant to talk to you or kind of like explain their side of things, or I don't know. I don't really know I don't necessarily see fallout. But there is definitely a disconnect. There's definitely a disconnect. And maybe it took a little bit of a shakeup for you to see that. Maybe you actually had something that you really wanted, Sagittarius, and now you're kind of seeing the downside of it, like what it meant to actually let that go. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily re-enter this dynamic if it doesn't feel comfortable. Let's take a little bit more of a look at it. But it's also saying be honest with yourself about what your heart wants, okay? Like maybe you don't have to walk back into that dynamic, but maybe it's asking you to seek out something that feels similar, that resonates, vibes with your heart. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Like it doesn't have to mirror it 100%. I feel like what comes in is actually better. It's more heart honoring. It's something that you had to be able to go through a little bit of the mucky stuff or learn some harder lessons in order to kind of like gain the clarity that you need and put time and energy, invest into the things that are actually like building towards your stability and happiness. And here's the thing, even though this person feels like they have to self-protect, it's almost like they're waiting for you is what I'm hearing. Maybe you put someone on the back burner. Maybe you're just like not in this vibe right now, not good, bad, right, or wrong. You're still lingering, like you're still interested, you're still invested in this on some level, but with the Tower, it does look like something happened and maybe a little bit of conflict, a disconnect. But like I said, I think a lot of this is because either there was miscommunications or gossip from other people stirring the pot. That type of vibe is what I'm hearing. And while I don't think a lot of this has really been addressed, I think that there needed to be some time, some space, some separateness in order to, like I said, to regain some clarity. And it's here for you when you're ready to readdress it. This feels a little bit like, 100%. I was going to say, this feels like a little bit like you're keeping it at bay as I was saying that. The hold card. So like, I feel like you're putting a pause on it so you can realign, which I really respect, Sagittarius. It's like, again, investing in yourself, like making sure you have your own shit together before you put these expectations on yourself to give out to others or to be available to others. And I think you had to kind of see the reality of some things also that were not what they were painting themselves to be, right? Places where maybe people dynamics steered you wrong, or maybe I'm hearing like shrouded, covered, illusion, trying to make you think it was something when in fact it really wasn't. And here's the thing, you're just protecting yourself, you're protecting your livelihood, your home, your peace of mind. You're worried. You're not worried, but it's like you're fighting for something that feels very valuable and feels very important to you. Maybe this situation person got in the line of fire, you're going to know best. But it feels like for some reason, setting some boundaries kind of just put a disconnect, right? A disconnect. And I'm hearing also for some of you, there's that body card again. So for some of you, like maybe you also have to listen to it from someone else's perspective, from a more innocent perspective. Maybe someone who doesn't have all the complications you do, who can kind of see it clearly, because you are backtracking a little bit is what this is showing. And again, I feel like this is because right now, it's not that there's not movement in the astrology, but movement in the right way, I should say. Mars is tensely aspected to Chiron. Chiron is our wound healer. It's what helps us grow and evolve. When we're not growing and evolving, when we're just like trying to do the same thing the same way over and over and over again, I think, what is that Einstein quote? That's the definition of insanity. If something's not working in a certain way, make plans to change it and shift it accordingly. And I feel like that's kind of what you're in the process of doing, Sagittarius, as you're realigning yourself. These boundaries might be just for a period of time to protect yourself, to get reoriented, to kind of refigure out what your heart is saying and what things are a little bit more superficial or just kind of playing at your ego. So really interesting read. I hope you enjoyed the messages here. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. Know that I so appreciate all the love, all the support you bring to the channel, and I'm sending it back your way.